Now, we are going to institute new competent public procedures. We're not really ready to in this one, so I just wasn't going to change anything. Just let it go, and however we normally do it.
Okay, so it'll be pretty wide open then today. Whatever we. Oh yes, Michelle. We haven't actually started this meeting yet.
I know. So I just wanted to make a.
I was going to say something before we actually started the meeting, so that's a good time to do this.
Okay, I was just going to ask the people who do make comments, since it will be a little informal. I can't actually see everybody from my vantage point, so if you could stand or raise your hand so I can make sure I can see who's talking, and if you tell me your name, each time you speak, I'll try and remember. You speak multiple times, but it's kind of hard to keep track. So I know it's a little. Not comfortable, it's a little foreign experience, but that will make sure that I identify you correctly and I write down everything that I hear you say.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, Michelle's taking a transcript and she writes it funny little symbols, so we have to talk to funny little symbols. Okay, Wayne, since you're here, let's start this up. This is a meeting of the strategy committee, and it looks like probably the first thing we should do is have a call to the public. So make sure you let Michelle know who you are.
And just to reemphasize, please identify yourself when you get up to speak, every time you get up to speak.
Okay. Anybody?
Is the call to the public on any subject, or?
Right now you can say anything you want. It should have something to do with aviation and the airport, I guess.
Yeah, it will. Chris Alberti, AOPA. We talked last meeting about the hangar that you guys want to build over by the D hangar, to make the E hangar, make a 4-spot hangar over there. I particularly have gone over there and measured that out and have talked to a couple of people that understand that all the utilities are already in for that area. Another D hangar will fit in there with access on both sides, the fence side on the west and the other side. I would suggest that if the airport can, since you guys say we don't have any money to build that hangar, maybe go to the bank, get the loan. If it costs anywhere between $300,000 and $400,000, which is what I'm thinking that you're going to be about with that, you're going to bring in on those 12 hangars at $360 a month. You're going to bring in $43.20 a month. That should be enough, more than enough, to cover the payment. And the airport will actually own that hangar. Take the 4-spot hangar, move it down by the old FedEx area, like I had suggested earlier, a couple meetings before, because I think that area down there would be more larger for those aircraft, because there will be more space between the existing 4-box hangar and the FedEx hangar. There's a lot of space in between there for winds to get through for bigger aircraft. The reason I'm saying this is because you guys have 10 people as of today that are waiting for D hangars. And it shouldn't be a big problem to get the other 2 rented. So I think you guys can probably immediately rent those all out. If you put the 4-box hangar up there and you're charging your current rate of $10.82 a month, you're still going to be at $43.28. It's only $8 more than the 12 hangars, which is going to actually help a lot more people. And I think that since we've gone that route and there is enough room over there to put a D hangar in without having to worry about any more space for wingspan, I think it's just a logical solution to do that if we can get the loan, and if you guys, if the payment will cover that from the lease. It just seems to be, how should I put this, common sense, I guess. The 4 hangar, I think, really should be down by the old FedEx building, by where they just moved out from Border Patrol and everything. Plenty of space there. You can probably get 2 4-boxes in there, 2 4 hangars with 4 boxes in there. But we have a need right now for 10 hangars that people are waiting for. That's money we're just letting sit out there, guys. We really need to bring that money into the airport. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Any other comments? Ewing.
John Ewing. Just a general comment. There are a number of people that feel that the meeting minutes are not reflecting what's going on in the meeting. You are the only guys who can correct that. But, anyway, I hear that all the time, that what's being published is not what's being discussed. So I don't know how to correct it, but only you guys can prove that.
Okay. Anyone else?
You go, Tom.
Good.
Go on, Mitch. You haven't lost your voice, have you?
No, no. My name is Mitch Dunn, and I think you're all familiar with me. I wanted to comment about the conduct of the last meeting. I was very pleased. Progress was made there. It was very, as Mr. Engel said, congenial, and I hope to see more of that. Today is a nice meeting. I like the tone and the way things are going. Some things that were said in the newspaper article, I think, kind of a step backwards. And, my hope is that that's a minor setback. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Sure. Joseph Ernest Gamez, and it's Yuma Airport Watchdog. I'd like to follow up on comments made at previous meetings surrounding public records requests. I made a public records request and asked that staff look into, and per Dr. Gould's comments in a number of meetings, and this board has repeatedly discussed, that when a call to public comment is made, that staff would do some measure of follow-up. I've asked on 2 occasions now, in the course of my Freedom of Information Act request, or how it's more appropriately called through the airport, the public records request, I was directed to fill forms out, and that's okay. I have no problem doing so. But the record also shows that other people, namely the Freemans, were without any sort of other additional requirements, were just very freely given information from this airport authority. And now for the 3rd time, I'm asking for an answer on that. If this board could address that, it would be most respectfully appreciated. And kind of following up on what Mr. Dunn said, I think the word antagonistic was used, and this board corrected those minutes. I think that inflaming and being antagonistic in the form of minutes, I think there's also something that's still posted from a meeting that took place in April, where the body language of Mr. Gorley was identified in great detail. It says Stanley threw his arms up in the air and shrugged his shoulders. Is this really the level of detail? We talk about wanting to represent in just a very diplomatic and positive light this airport. Well, if we're going to start reforming things, I think that if the intent is to suggest that this general aviation body is unruly and are malicious menaces and other adjectives that have been used, I think that this board should look in the mirror, starting with the airport director. And I'd like to welcome Michelle. I think that that's a step in the right direction. I think a lot of the discontent here has been, as Mr. Ewing pointed out, the meeting minutes do not even closely represent the conversation that takes place at this board, at this table during the meetings. And so, Michelle, welcome, and I thank the staff for delegating money to do that. And that's all I've got to say. Thank you very much.